message: just keep going. We've lost a couple series already this year. It's just another series. Got a big one coming up with Kansas City. We played in the postseason. Guys are having great at bats, making great plays. It's whenever you play the Red Sox, it's going to be a series like this. Kind of back and forth. They have a big inning, we have one back. That's baseball. So just go back to work. Nothing different.
Aaron, Narvaez was a guy who spent some time here. I know not much in the big leagues, but what do you remember about him from spring training, just hearing about him in the minors?
Yeah, Norvy's hard worker, great teammate. One of the best we had over here. It's always sad to see him go, but excited for the opportunity he's getting right now. He's really doing his thing over there, swinging it well. But yeah, he had a short time coming up with us for a little bit, but man, the stuff I saw in spring training, the stuff I heard about, everybody loved him. He's outworked everybody in this room, so it doesn't surprise me he's having the success he is this year.
What can you take away from this series and apply towards next time you meet them, just next weekend?
There's a couple games where you got a chance to see a lot of their bullpen. I feel like we saw every single one of their guys, which only helps you out, especially now when we play every single team. We lose a series home and away against kind of our in-division rivals. So it's good to get a chance to have a couple games. We see some of their back-end arms, especially seeing Chapman there, even though it's only for one batter. But getting a chance to see some of those back-end guys will definitely help us down the road.
What would you make of Dominic's comments that he'd rather retire than be a Yankee?
I really didn't hear about it until I think Eduardo Perez he told me before the game, but I've only heard King Griffey say that, so I was a little surprised.
Is that at all in your head after getting at that?
Well, once somebody tells you, yeah.
43 multi-homer games tying Lou Gehrig. How's that feel?
Would have been sweet if it was a win. Trying not to think about it, just trying to do my job there. I ain't got much. Anytime you get mentioned with those, legends, it's quite an honor, but would have been sweeter to talk about it after a win.
It wasn't Rodon's night tonight, but what have you seen from him this year that's impressed you?
Man, he was cruising there for a while, but I always want him out there on the mound. He's a guy that he attacks his zone well, gets ahead. He's got just 2 or 3 wipeout pitches to put guys away with. That's why I want him on the mound. Any big spot, any big situation, I know he's going to go after guys, attack guys. But yeah, he just hit a couple tough spots today. But I know he's a guy that's going to bounce back and be ready for his next one.
Aaron, Carlos has been so consistent all season long. He cruised through the first 4. What did you see in the 5th and 6th out of him?
Yeah, I mean, lost the zone a little bit. Walk, a hit batter, and then Narvaez clips him. Up to then, I thought really threw the ball very much in line with who he's been all year. I thought his mix was good. It was kind of sailing there a little bit too. But a couple walks and the hit batter kind of hurt him, and then Narvaez obviously got him. So, they did a good job offensively, this series, and certainly, all night tonight. They put together a lot of really good at bats against some good pitching. So, they got us tonight.
Did he come out of it okay physically? He's okay?
Carlos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Campbell and Narvaez both hit 4-seamers.
Mm-hmm.
Were the location? Did he hit the right location? And
I have to go back still and look. Obviously a little bit of a weird night with the wind. Campbell's ball stayed real true. He had some really good swings all night, but that ball kind of stayed true. Thought initially it probably slice a little bit, but he put some good swings on balls.
First pitch this season coming in, Aaron Judge was hitting like something absurd, like 671. We heard the comments that Dobbins made, and it seemed like he took that a little personally in the first inning with that swing.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he obviously had a really good night just at bat wise. On base, 2 just really impressive blows the other way. I mean, you don't see balls hit the other way like that very often. So just Judgy likes playing in these games, and I think you just saw a great player having a great night.
Max.
Aaron, going back to this past offseason, how tough was it to give up Narvaez in that trade?
Yeah, very. Yeah, very tough. Narvy, beloved in our organization just for who he is, but also, we know just what a talented catcher he is too, and obviously really starting to come into his own offensively as well. So, yeah, it was hard to give him up, but sometimes you have to make tough moves to make other things plausible.
Chris.
I know it's a small sample, but what have you seen out of Loizaga so far? He's given up a lot of hard contact.
Yeah, lefty's given him a little bit of trouble. I feel like he's throwing the ball really well. Stuff was really good. Really has been for the last couple months. Maybe a little bit of just still getting settled into the season after missing a complete year. That last level of just really being sharp. But I feel like stuff-wise, he's been good. He's been efficient. He didn't pitch last night, but pitched back-to-back the day before. 10-11 pitch, very low inning, Loizaga-like innings with generating the ball on the ground and the weak contact. So, Toro really got him there after a long at-bat. So just, fine-tuning his stuff, especially against lefties. Not really worried at all right-handed wise, even though Story did get him and put a good swing on him. I feel like he's in a pretty good place with that. But stuff-wise, he's where he needs to be.
Anyone else? Mark?
Just overall, what do you take from the series with the energy levels and also just last 2 days, Boston?
The what level?
The energy levels with
Yeah.
Yankees, Red Sox, and also last 2 days, them just scoring a lot of runs and answering back here.
Yeah, these are always, kind of heavy series and, fun to be a part of and go through. But, they had their hitting shoes on the last couple nights and, really even the first night with them coming back on us and pressuring us a little bit. So, they beat us here this weekend. So it's part of it. We'll kind of regroup into the off day here and obviously off to Kansas City and then back to Boston and get ourselves right back on track.